And here, this is going to be ZBs and Uniden. Again, this is a 2v2 from the JHU IAC KSA StarCraft 2 2v2 tournament. Here's Uniden, his Terran ally, and on the other side we have Calc, and of course his buddy Penguin over here. The two Terran players and the Zerg and Protoss players are going to go ahead and open up the production tab and see what's going on. See who is able to come up on top. Looks like this is another best of 3 series. Again, these games were not labeled in the best way, so I couldn't really tell what round they were from or what was up, so I'm just sort of guessing. One of the games was labeled as final, so I assume that was one of the final games. Don't know if the winner of that game came up on top or if more games occurred, so we'll see what happens in this game. All of the Terran players appear to be doing the exact same thing, but Calc, as always, just a few seconds ahead. Or no, Penguin. Penguin is just always a few seconds ahead. Here's the late barracks for Calc in comparison to his two other Terran buddies, and there's the spawning pool coming up for ZBs. We'll see if he decides to expand early or if he's just going to put on a ton of pressure. It was a 9 pool or an 8 pool. Probably an 8 pool. He's going to put on a lot of pressure right now. No gas coming up for ZBs. There's the SCV coming in here and seeing the early pool. Calc sees it and he's gonna ping over there, and not sure what he would be saying to his ally, probably saying early pool Zerglings. And there's 2 racks coming up from Uniden. Looks like they're gonna be rushing no gas. Is there an orbital gonna be coming up? He's not got. There's the orbital command coming up though, and on the other side Calc and his buddy Penguin doing the exact same thing. ZB is spreading out his overlords nicely, one at his ramp, a couple of Zerglings now moving out across the map, more drones now being produced. A queen is on the way, a couple of drones now entering the gas, going to be picking up some gas to get that Zergling speed up and running. There's these Zerglings coming over here, going to be able to pick off an SCV. The SCV juking these Zerglings a little bit, going to back up back into the rocks. This is the only thing interesting that's going on over here, but the SCV fails to get microed and does get taken out, eaten alive by those Zerglings. Another barracks coming up for Calc. His orbital command is up and running. For Penguin over here, he's going to build a factory directly onto the tech lab produced by this barracks. So he will be going for those siege tanks once again, or maybe even blue flame Hellions. More Marines getting produced over here. Uniden still not grabbing any gas. Going to be continuing to mass up a bunch of Marines. There's more Zerglings now pouring out into the middle of the field. 4 Zerglings waiting over here. Speed is complete now, and a Baneling's nest is on the way as well. We might be seeing a Baneling's bust shortly. Marine's going to be moving down here, going to be checking around for any proxies. Not going to find any over here. These Zerglings, they don't have their wings. Was speed? No, speed was only just started. I imagined that Zerg speed was complete. There's the queen over here. We're going to continue to vomit that larva. No sign of any expansion. There's the scan going down. Going to be seeing the Baneling's nest. They're going to have to wall up a little harder. Maybe get a couple of extra depots up here. A couple of extra barracks. Float the barracks up to the front. There's the 2 bunkers coming out for Calc. Going to be preventing any minor Baneling busts, but any major Baneling busts that we've seen players like July do in the GSL would totally bust this entrance down, especially this vulnerable supply depot over here. We'll see who they decide to go for there. The Banelings morphing now, 5 on the way. The Marines now advancing forward. A bunker coming up for Penguin in this position. He's got to get more Marines and out onto the field. There's Hellions being produced now. Blue Flame is also on the way. A single SCV is going to brave his way forward. Going to meet up with a couple of Marines in the center. Going to get taken out by these 2 Marines. Yep, there it goes down. More Blue Flame Hellions should be coming out. Yeah, there's another one. Blue Flame is almost complete. More Marines are on the way. It's being rallied to the wrong bunker, and SCV is also staying up front, salvaging the bunker. Not too sure why. The Baneling bust is about to happen. Another Baneling was just in the production queue. Here comes a couple more Zerglings, a couple more Banelings. Marines are also massing up right here. The Calc is definitely ready for this. His ally Penguin looks very, very vulnerable. He's only got 1 bunker over here. He's got another supply depot on the way. But if this Baneling bust would happen right now, he is totally going to get busted. Here comes the Banelings forward. The Zergling's going to start nibbling away. The supply depot here going down. Going to be taking that out. The blue plane Hellions being microed back against the Banelings here. The Marines not quite sure what they want to do. They're going to start advancing forward. The Hellions getting picked up into this medevac. Not going to be too ready for this attack. The Hellions could actually roast away all of these Marines very easily. No repair on that bunker. 2 Marines over here getting taken out. Unity can easily advance in here and do a ton of damage to the SCV line. Here comes the reinforcements from Calc. Look at that healthy Marine Marauder army. No stim pack just yet. Looks like Uniden is going to be content to stay back here and try to fight off these Marines and Marauders. Going to be microing forward a little bit. Calc's army is just a tad too large. The Hellions being dropped in Uniden's main here, roasting away all of the workers here. There's not going to be a single SCV left after this. A couple of Marines being rallied back to try to deal with the Hellions, but Hellions deal with Marines very well. Marines, again, are light, going to be lifting and moving to the Zerg base. Zebes is going to be in a lot of trouble next. Here's his Marines advancing forward, and the Hellions in this medevac are going to pull over here. Zebes doesn't actually have any units to deal with this. All he can do is to try to run his drones around, but of course Hellions are a lot faster than drones. Here comes the Hellion drop, getting dropped in the main. There's the Zerglings being dropped over here. Going to micro the Hellions a little bit, losing a couple of drones there. Not too much. Penguin is headed for Cloaking Field and Banshees. He's going to be able to do tons of damage. Here's the Marines and Marauders from Cal cleaning up over here from another bust. Here comes additional Zerglings running forward. They know they have to do tons of damage, maybe surround this army over here. The first Banshee is moving out, going to run into Calc's main. Calc's main is completely open now, lifting the supply depot. Is going to let the Zerglings into his mineral line. Going to lose all of his SCVs over here. A couple of Marines and Marauders left over here. The Marines for our Uniden are advancing forward, going to try to pick off that Banshee. Does it have Cloak? Yes, it does. Does Uniden have any scans available? No, he's just spent it all on the mules. There's no lair. Zebes is not going to be able to do anything about this. He's going to lose a ton of drones as well as the Queen in this exchange. There are no more Banshees on the way. Here's the second one now moving out. The Zerglings have finished their harassment over here. 2 Banelings now morphing. Going to be advancing forward, getting taken out with the Marauder slow. Not going to be able to do any more damage over here. The Marines busting the front now, running in. However, Calc's forces do have stim. Uniden does not. Uniden's forces get wiped out at the front. Uniden and Zebes are going to have to do quite a bit to deal with this. The Banshee over here is running out of energy, but there is no Queen. The second Queen is barely on her way. Zerglings cannot bite the air, so the Banshee is going to be free to do all the damage she would please. Going to pick off a couple of Zerglings here as well. Advancing forward is Calc's main Marine Marauder army, going to be able to pick off the rest of Zebes and Uniden's hope of being able to stay in this game. Here comes Uniden's forces, still no stim. These Zerglings trying to advance forward. Here's the final confrontation. Calc looks like he's probably going to lose the source, but it doesn't matter. He's got a pretty healthy economy back home. He's got the Marine Marauder force getting reproduced. Penguin rebunkering up, even expanding right now. Looks like Uniden and his ally Zebes have held off the rush, but this Banshee is still here, free to do whatever she pleases. Zebes has nothing in his base mining. He's got 4 harvesters, and his ally Uniden has 3. Here comes the Marines trying to get back to the base. There's a scan going down. A couple of Marines guarding the not mining main base. The Banshee looks like she is gone, but she's done her damage. There's not much that Zebes is going to be able to do to come back into this game. They're still hanging on though, with a hope of being able to stay in this. The SCV transfer is occurring to the natural expansion right now. Penguin leaving not much in his main. He should make a couple more SCVs. Just because you're playing 2v2 does not exempt you from making SCVs and drones continuously. There goes down the 2 bunkers, getting salvaged. Gonna be able to get those minerals back and produce a large army. Here's Uniden, still no stim out of him. He's still got his gas not mined. He's got a couple of gas in the bank, not going to be able to do anything with that. Zebes' economy is just in shambles. There's nothing mining here. The deathing blow should come soon from Penguin and his ally. Calc, their armies are just gigantic. Let's just go over to the army tab. Zebes is at 14 food. We've got his ally Uniden at 29, ZB's their opponents Calc at 57, and Penguin roaring forward at 70 food, even finishing up the stim just now. Here comes a Banshee and a medevac full of units going to be dropping in the back. The Banshee is going to cloak and move forward. There are no mules over here. The Banshee is going to fly in this direction. He should be able to evac this if he's paying attention. There goes the stim from the Marines. Uniden does manage to take this force out. However, the Banshee over here is going to cloak and come back and do a bunch of damage here. 1 kill, 2 kills. 3 kills. Are there any scans? 41, 3 more energy away. He can even pick off a couple. Here comes Calc's force is going to be moving in here, wiping out the remainder of Uniden's Marines. GG calls Uniden, and ZB's also GG. This game is over and does go to Calc and Penguin. Judging from this game, I assume the next game is the final being played by Penguin and Calc. We'll see you guys in that real soon.